Welcome to our small groups initiative 2024-2025. The whole point of our small group initiative is about building meaningful relationships. And what we mean by that is meaningful relationships are ones where we can really show up with each other in the fullness of ourselves, of the things, be able to discuss the things that matter most to us in our lives, to be able to move past the small talk that sometimes characterizes our interactions with each other at the synagogue. So I want to just congratulate you for participating and choosing to be a part of this. The way that we use this small groups initiative to build meaningful relationships is through having 4 sessions in which you have the opportunity to hear a short video, 5 to 7 minutes, by me about some particular topic, sharing Jewish wisdom and tradition about how that topic might affect our lives. And then there is a discussion guide with questions, with texts from our tradition and other questions. For some of you, the Jewish learning aspect that's a part of these small groups is very welcomed and appreciated. And for some of you, you may just be tolerating it, as your main goal here is to build meaningful relationships. And so whatever your position is, I just want to affirm that the videos and the questions are really meant for you to share about yourselves, to share about the things that are important to you with your group, and that the content here is really meant to be a springboard for your own discussions. So you can feel free to start maybe with a question after watching the video, and then just go off into a whole different kind of discussion, and that is great. So I want you to feel like this structure is here to support you, but it's not meant to constrict you. So when the conversations start flowing, go for it. Our first session is about the connection between commitment, obligation, and happiness. And our Jewish tradition has an incredible, powerful, and maybe even a little disturbing midrash or commentary interpretation about the experience that the Israelites had at Mount Sinai. We know that after the Israelites left Egypt from slavery, they came to the mountain and they were given the Torah. And there was thunder and lightning, there was a huge sound of the shofar, and there's many, many commentaries as far as what actually took place, what was their experience of God and receiving the Torah. But the midrash that I want to focus on today says that the rabbis say that what actually happened was God took the mountain, picked up the mountain, held it over the Israelites' head, and said, if you accept the Torah, great, good for you. If not, then I'm going to drop this mountain on your head. Now, and they accepted. Now, obviously, this is a very disturbing midrash because it paints the picture of a very dominating, coercive kind of God that is asking for our relationship, asking for our commitment, asking for our obligation based on fear, on do this or else. What I want to invite us to consider is, what if that mountain was our children? Meaning that the mountain falling down and crushing could symbolize our children not having what they need to grow up into happy adults. That for the mountain falling down on top of the Israelites could symbolize our children not being able to grow into fulfilled, happy human beings, right? And our obligation as parents our commitment is to be able to give them whatever it is that they need in order to be successful, for them to feel loved, to feel connected, to have what they need on physical levels, emotional levels, and maybe even spiritual levels. And as a parent, I know that I have to many times put aside my own needs, my own desires to honor my commitment to them. Now, my commitment is my commitment to myself? Is it commitment to my own values? Is it my commitment to God? That is what drives me to prioritize being present and showing up for them, even when I don't want to. And what I find, and what all of you who are parents, I'm sure, have found as well, is that the kind of investment through our commitment and our obligation to our children creates an amazing amount of happiness, fulfillment, desire. And it is an obligation, right? Not an obligation that's coming from outside myself, but something that is driven by my core values and the reality of what I see in the world and what are the consequences of my action. So, what if we were to take that same model and think about it as our relationship to life, to creation? Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel talks about the state of being in radical amazement and wonder in the world. And that really happiness and fulfillment comes from that sense of openness and wonder about everything in the world, creation. But that in order for us to be able to be in that space, to live in that space, there are certain commitments and obligations that we need to make in order to create that space for ourselves. And our Jewish tradition connects this state of wonder and amazement with mitzvot, with in the same way that we work to take care of our children, how do we work to take care of our community, our own connection and relationship with God and with life? And that sometimes it requires that we don't want to always do these things. But if we're connected with the sense that the kind of life that we want to live and the happiness that we want to experience is connected to fulfilling our obligations, then we may find that we are living in a world of fulfillment.